Hi everyone, this isn't my usual video. I'm speaking softly today because this one comes from a very real place in my life, and I want to honor it with extreme gentleness. I want to talk about something we don't discuss enough in our LGBTQIA plus community, and that what happens when someone dismisses you, when someone silences you, when someone talks down to you, especially when you're an elder in this community. I will not be naming names. This isn't about calling anyone out, now or ever. This is about sharing the experience of something I know many people out there have gone through. Recently, and over the last 4 years, I have reached out to people to apologize for misunderstanding, either on their part or mine or both. I approached them calmly, sincerely, truly wanting to mend things because these people mattered to me, and they shut me down, not with anger, but with dismissal. The cold tone people use when they've already decided your voice doesn't matter. The tone that says in your heart, but is never verbally said out loud, I don't have time for you. You aren't worth hearing. Your feelings don't matter. And it hit me hard. Not because of the moment itself, or even the person that said it, or did it, or how, but because of everything behind it. Part of why this hit so hard is that just last night, 3 days after this last interaction, I was in the hospital overnight. With a bad neurological episode that terrified me. I was scared. I was vulnerable. I needed gentleness. And I think that's why this dismissal hurt in a way I didn't expect while laying in the hospital. Not because of the person, but because of the moment. And I know I'm not the only one going through something like that. You see, at 59, I came out in a generation where showing up for each other wasn't optional in the gay community. It was survival. I grew up in the shadow of the AIDS crisis, like so many. I watched 600 friends die. And I paid to bury 10 of them. I watched a government ignore us from Reagan forward. I marched in the streets with ACT UP. I stood with Queer Nation. I was at Pride when people threw bottles instead of glitter before bank and sponsor donorships. I was on the stage as a teenager, Miss Gay Florida America's first alternate. I fought loudly before it was safe to fight. And the whole time, I stood on the shoulders of queer elders who came before me. Stormy De La Rue, that butch queen who threw the first punch at Stonewall and is never credited. Lady Bunny, who helped shape drag into the political, historical, cultural force it still is. And thank you, Lady Bunny. Coco Peru, who taught us that storytelling is activism and that dignity can be funny. Coco, darling, we've not met yet, but you've been an inspiration my entire life. My entire life. Paul Wind, who survived and thrived in a world that refused to see him, even on TV. Rock Hudson, whose death forced America to finally, once and for all, confront the epidemic it kept denying. Ryan White and his mother, Jeannie White, who taught us compassion to a world that terrified us, and so many others, known and unknown, who carried this community on their backs before I ever got here. I respect them deeply. I honor them. I would not be here today without them. And today's young queer community wouldn't be here without them either, or without the people of my generation who followed their paths. So when I'm dismissed, when I'm silenced, when I'm spoken to like a child and patted on the head and sent on my way by someone born into the safety I helped build, it hurts. In a very different way. Not because of my ego, not because of my age, not because it feels like erasure, but because it feels like erasure. It feels belittling. I carried that pain longer than I should have. I let it make me small. I let it doubt myself. And I know, God, do I know, there are so many queer elders watching who have felt the same way. People who survived trauma, loss, rejection, violence, hate crimes, epidemics, and now are treated like an inconvenience. People who paved the way and are pushed aside and now pushed to the side, ignored and silenced. But something happened inside of me. Yesterday, I said, or actually Sunday, I said quietly, enough. I've had enough. I answered with clarity, with deep respect, with boundaries, and I walked away. Not in anger. It's never been anger. Not in drama. but in a very deep-seated dignity. And in that moment, I realized something I want more than anything. Every quiller elder, and honestly, anyone, despite race, religion, creed, sexual orientation, anyone who has ever been dismissed to hear this, you deserve respect. Your history deserves respect. Your voice deserves respect. You're not overreacting like I thought I was. You're not difficult, and I've been accused of that. You're not responsible for someone else's inability to communicate with compassion. And let me say that again. You, my darling, are not responsible for someone else's inability to communicate with compassion. And you are allowed to walk away from anyone who refuses to treat you with care. You, along with I, can set boundaries. You and I can say, that hurt me and hurt me deeply. You and I can reclaim our dignity at any goddamn age we are. You can restart your life at any age. You can begin your revival with me right here, right now. I'm really still learning how to be gentle with myself. I'm still learning how to forgive myself for the pain that wasn't mine to begin with. I'm still learning how to honor my own worth the same way I've honored the elders who came before me simply because I deserved it. If you're watching this, my darling, and you've been dismissed or silenced or spoken to like you don't matter, nor your opinion, I hope this video reminds you of something very important. You do matter. You always have. And your story needs to be heard. I'm interested in speaking with those that have the story that's not been told, for the work that you've done in our community to make what our community is. I don't care who you are, where you are, I want to talk to you. I want to interview you here. Get your story. I learned 4 years ago when my husband died, a lot of our history is lost when we die, and there's so much of our story that's never told. And I'm really sorry here, but that, my friend, is a damn shame. And I'm tired of it. Do me one favor. If you do nothing else, please, oh, please, my darlings, be gentle with yourself today. I'm trying to do the same. love you. Thanks. Till next time.